Good morning, students of class 9. Welcome back to the online classes. I hope you are studying regularly at home. Let's continue our lesson. Before that, in our previous class we have talked about during 18th century the food production grew in England. It is not because of the introduction of new technology or innovations, but because new lands were added. The new lands means the common lands were enclosed and the production increased. So now what happened to the poor? So 1.4, what happened to the poor? Of course, the poor were driven out and they were displaced. They had to move out in search of work. They had to go somewhere else and manage their livelihood. So now, number one, enclosures fill the pockets of the landlords. Definitely. The enclosures filled the pocket of the landlords because their production increased and they earned a lot of profit. In the 16th century also they enclosed for wool production. Now during 18th century they enclosed because they wanted to grow more food grains because there was a great demand and the prices were very high. So the enclosures fill the pocket of the landlords, number one. Number two, the poor could no longer collect firewood, graze their animals, collect wild fruits and roots, or hunt for food, hunt animals for food, for their survival. They could no longer do these activities. Number three, everything belonged to the landlords. Everything belonged to the landlords. It was enclosed and the common land was enclosed. Previously, all the villagers had access to the common land. But now, during 16th century and 18th century, the common lands were taken over. So now everything has a price which the poor could not afford to pay. The poor could not afford. So they were left with nothing. Number four, the poor were displaced. They had to leave their cottage. They have built a small cottage in the common land. They had to leave that. They were driven out from there. The poor were displaced. They found their customary rights. Actually, it was their customary right to live and graze their animals, collect firewood and so on. We have talked about. It was their customary right and gradually disappearing. Slowly their customary right was disappearing and the lands were taken over by the landlords and the big farmers. So now, number five, deprived. Deprived means keep away from something else. Deprived of their rights were not given and driven off the land. Deprived of their rights and driven off the land, they moved, they tramped towards cities. They moved, tramped means moved, walked. They moved in search of work. Now there in the common land, they had nothing left, nothing was left for them. So they had to move away from there with their family, along with their family. Many hundreds of peasants, poor peasants, along with their family, they moved from there because they were driven away. Common land became the property of the landlords. So now nothing was left for them. They had to move along with their family and belongings. From midlands, midland means middle, central, middle of England. From midlands they moved to South England. Slowly they moved and towards the South England because in South England there was an agricultural field, vast agricultural field, and there was always a demand for agricultural laborers, workers. There was a great demand for agricultural workers or laborers in South England. South England, agriculture was done extensively and there was a demand for agricultural workers. So these peasants moved towards south. But the work was not regular. The work was not regular. During off season, they were left without any work. So the work was not regular and not secure. Throughout the year, they never got the job. During sowing time, during harvesting time, they got the job. But other times, they remained without any work. So they find it very, very difficult to sustain. They find it very difficult to live and manage along with their family. And that too, it was a new land for them. It was not their homeland. It was their new place, new locality. These peasants were from midlands and they move towards south in search of work. So they find it very difficult during off season. So that's all for today. Now what happened after that, we'll continue in our next class. So that's all for today. Stay safe and do your studies regularly at home. Go through the book as well, 1.4 peasants and farmers, as well as listen carefully to the online classes, so you'll understand more and remember things properly, clearly, so that you don't have to worry about anything later on. So that's all for today. We'll meet in the next class. Thank you for watching the video.